As most of you are aware, in the last few days we've lost one of the greats of our game. Ron Barassi, who was an innovator, a motivator, a champion, a legend, and a man responsible for making our great game what it is today. May he rest in peace.
I was carb loading. Don't fat shame me.
Be careful what kind of questions we're asking our guest here, guys.
Yeah, we've only just met. Luke Hodge. Yeah. You've heard him talk on the broadcast.
Yep.
Would you give your money to that bloke? You wouldn't give him a cent, would you?
So anyways, I was able to build myself back up, and luckily I've invested most of my money in Zanotti Ponzi.
Their A game. It is A game.
If it wasn't for me, you'd all be dead. No one's. You'd be nobodies.
This is the new world of sport.
Welcome back here on your drive home this afternoon with Coach and Gav on the new world of sport 16957 action-packed show today, ladies and gentlemen. Coach.
Gav, big week. Prelim finals coming up. Will we see a rematch of the 2003 grand final, Brisbane Collingwood, 20 years later?
I don't know about that, but the Brownlow, who have you got?
Well, I've got Bontempley all the way, Gav, but what about all those little-known awards, the ones that we don't talk about?
What awards are these?
Let me run you through these. Worst mullet, Sam Draper, Essendon, 19 votes.
Yeah.
Best mullet, the OG, Bruce Monteith, Richmond, 23 votes. Best hardball get, Gav, Touk Miller, Gold Coast, 32 votes.
Of course. Well, we've also got another special award that also goes unnoticed, and we are going to cross live to Tiffany Cherry in Perth.
Thanks, Coach Cole. Yes, I'm here outside Mineral Resources Park, home of the West Coast Eagles. I have the wooden spoon here with me, but unfortunately, the nominated representative from West Coast, Josh Wooden, couldn't make it.
Wooden wouldn't?
No, Wooden couldn't.
Well, shouldn't Wooden collect the wooden?
Well, he didn't, and he hasn't.
Well, can't we get Selwood or Staker? They know their timber.
No, they're too petrified.
What, Petrocelli? Well, I've got my own breaking news, Gav. A video's come across my desk this week. Can we roll it, please, Mr. Producer?
Where did you get that from, Coach?
Gav, we're headed into the granny. You may want to lay off the calorie intake.
No, seriously, where did you get that from?
Then you had a dessert at a different establishment. Have a look at this. Roll the vision.
One of those was for someone else, Coach.
Oh, yeah. Who was getting that ice cream, Gav? Ryan Houlihan. Have a look at this. There's more here. Look at that.
Cole, where did you get the footage from?
Well, Gav, let's just say there's a few Michael C. Wilsons rolling around. You never know who's filming, but there's more to come, Damien Drum. Have a look at this. Roll that. Have a look at this, Gav.
Well, I was carb loading. Don't fat shame me. I've told you I've got a thyroid problem. Well, if it's good enough for TJ, it's probably good enough for me.
No wonder you're so opposed to the price rise of food at the G.
Well, if you do remember, we're not going to make journos the focus of these footy shows.
Well, I don't think they should be either, Gav. And on another note, you should be eating healthier.
Oh, well, so should you.
Oh, yeah. North Seafood and Grill. Go see Ange down at Northcote. And the results are in, Gav, for the best brothers in the AFL 2023. At number 4, we've got Harry and Ben Mackay at 16 votes. Number 3, Ben and Max King, 19 votes. Number 2, Isaac and Bailey Smith, 22 votes. And of course, number 1, Nick and Josh Dacos, 50 votes.
Well, you saw that coming a mile away, didn't you?
I sure did.
Because
Okay. Side by side. Now, one of those brothers called Josh, the other brother, he was called Nick. Both named in the All-Australian, both got their own bag of tricks. It's the magical Dacos brothers. You can see him running havoc on the MCG now. Now everyone knew their old man, Macedonian Marble Pete. But his sons are the talk of the town, people shouting when they're walking down the street. It's the magical Dacos brothers. Even better than Sean and Peter Burgoyne.
And you're listening to the new World of Sport on your drive home. Today we've got a very special guest in as the studio. All-Australian captain the Saints, premiership player with the Pies, currently dipping his toe in the financial world. Please welcome the ever-humble Luke Ball. Welcome, Lukey.
Thanks, Gav. Coach, it's good to be here.
No, it's great.
I'm not sure what I've walked into here, but thanks for having me.
Do you love the set though?
I do, yeah. It looks familiar.
Yeah.
Have I seen that before?
I reckon you would have. I stole that from Channel 7. This is the actual 85 set from the World of Sport, Channel 7 back
I
in the
knew
day.
it was familiar, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I was born,
everything down to the colour, everything down to the scent.
I was born in 84, so that's how I can remember it. Yeah,
You
fond
would,
memories.
You would. And now you're in the, I can see, like moving from AFL to the financial world, a similar game. They're both physical.
Well, yeah, I mean, they both require mental application and
Yes.
discipline, if that's what you mean.
No, that's what I did mean. That's what I did mean.
So tell us, Bally, you're now in the financial world. Question, do you have a bank?
Oh, just be careful what kind of questions we're asking our guest here, guys.
Yeah, we've only just met. I
Yeah,
think
we
that's-
don't ask
that's a bit-
lewd questions to our guests, mate. You're not Trevor Marmalade behind the bar.
I said bank, boys.
Oh, right. No, that makes sense. No, Bully, go ahead. You can answer that. What are you doing in finance these days?
Well, yeah, I thought I'd venture out of the footy world.
Yes.
I'd only ever experienced one industry in a sense, and I wanted to see what life was like out there outside of footy. So, working with a financial advice investment group called Partners Wealth Group, and really enjoying it. Been there for 3 years.
Oh, a bit like Zanotti Ponzi, is it?
Oh, I'm not sure that's a legitimate business.
Well, no, it is, Gav. I was driving in today listening to Mark's podcast, so it must be legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what he was saying? Apparently, Chris Judd's got an investment fund. Do you know about this?
Well, of course. Everyone wants to talk about Juddy and Hodgie.
Well, why wouldn't you invest in Chris Judd? I mean, 2 Brownlows, a Norm Smith, a premiership.
Yeah, a lot of medals, but let's go back to where it all started.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, he was number 3. 2001 Super Draft.
Oh,
Do I need to remind you?
Yeah, go on.
Hodge 1,
Yeah.
2, Judd 3.
Sure, Luke, but what has that got to do with finance?
Well, everything. Yeah. You've got number 2 behind this door, number 3 behind this door. Where are you putting your money? Pretty simple, isn't it? Number 2.
Yeah, okay, sure. So logically then, why would you not invest with number 1 as opposed to, no offence, number 2?
Number 1, Luke Hodge.
Yeah.
You've heard him talk on the broadcast.
Yep.
Would you give your money to that bloke? You wouldn't give him a cent, would you? No, leave him out of it. Number 2 is where it's at.
Cool, but sure, he's pretty qualified. 4 premierships, 2 Norm Smiths, captain
I
of
get
the
it.
Hawks.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, Hall of Famer, legends, medals here, there, and everywhere.
Champion.
Let me ask you this: were either of them ever president of the AFL Players Association? Both of them, okay, premiership captains, but they were only looking after 44 players.
Yeah.
I had to oversee 800. I mean, yeah, Hall of Famers, I get it. Premiership medals coming out of there. But did any of them ever get a call from a Brisbane player at 3 a.m. who was having nightmares about Jonathan Brown's voice?
Yeah, Luke, let's be honest.
Go ahead.
3 a.m. coach, 3 a.m. getting woken up to a phone call from a Brisbane Lions player, having nightmares about Jonathan Brown's big, deep, scary voice, having to convince him that he's not under his bed, giving him nightmares, or that he's not going to yell at him all day at training. I mean, don't get me wrong, Goose is he's actually my brother-in-law. But did Hodge or Judd ever have to deal with that? I think not.
Which one was Goose again?
Matt Maguire, Gav.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, I know what it's like, Bally. I mean, as a director of bleeding teams, I've had to deal with all sorts of issues with players and clubs. And I mean, did you hear about that whole fiasco at Adelaide in 2018? They set me in for that. You know, that coup d'etat of senior players that were trying to overthrow what they thought was a grotesque vision, image. No, it was. What
are you talking about, Coach?
These senior players that were trying to overthrow a grotesque image which they thought was ruining the image of the club.
What are you talking about, Coach?
Mark Rasciuto's goatee. I was sent in to clean that mess up. I mean, I haven't seen devastation of that magnitude since the great pie floater debacle of '79.
Oh, Cole, mate, you've got to stop talking about every second week.
Yeah, well, you tell that to M. Blight. Malcolm still hasn't recovered. Have you seen the way he limps? Shrapnel. No wonder he doesn't give a rat's toss bag. It's reduced his kicking foot by about 70 metres.
We're going to go to a song now. It's by a tribe called Quest. It is Can I Kick It?
Yes, you can.
The new world of sport.
So anyways, I was able to build myself back up, and luckily, I've invested most of my money in Zanotti Ponzi. You got to get involved, Luke. I mean, I can get Zanotti on the phone now if you like.
Well, it is the first I've heard of it,
Well,
Coach, but I'm interested.
Mark, you piece of shit. No, it's Cole. Yeah, no, I've got Bally here wants to invest the big bucks. No, not Jason Ball, Luke Ball. You know, Super Draft 01. Yeah, well, don't mention those other players, a bit sensitive. Yeah. Right, go ahead. Oh, yeah. Well, he's got something brewing in Panama, apparently. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a tax haven.
Yeah. Yeah, put me down for 50K. Mate, double our money in a couple of months. No worries. Yep. Yeah, well, you tell Johnny Gastev he still owes me tickets to the Nutcracker Prince. I had Cheryl on my hammer all bloody month about it. Righto, I'll see you later. You're a piece of shit. Now there is a man with integrity. I'm telling you. So apparently, Zanotti reckons Brad Weir and David Weir have just launched a multi-level business. It's a Wiramid scheme. You've got to get in early with these things, mate. Can we get you in?
What sort of bunts?
I don't know, 20K?
Put me down for 40.
Oh, brilliant. He's going to love that.
I don't know why it's not matching up. What are these stupid footy crosswords, Cole?
But what's the clue?
Oh, 4 down, runs like a thoroughbred, head like an alpaca.
Well, you've spelt Rewalt wrong. It's I before E, except after C.
You know that's why we lost the 09 grand final, Coach.
Nick Rewalt?
No, poor grammar.
Caulfield Grammar?
No. Half time, 09 grand final, we're up by a goal.
Yeah.
First thing Ross says makes my blood boil.
What did he say?
Well, the first thing he does, he gets up and he writes on the board, every player must bring their A game. Their A game. It's his A game. And he spells their wrong as well. His pronouns and spelling were atrocious all year. Set the tone for the second half.
Is that what brought about Geelong's turnaround second half?
Bought, Gav. Bought.
No, it's actually brought, Coach. Thank you very much.
So the whole thing came down to grammar?
Indeed. Well, let's just say things got tense when it came down to tense.
Really?
I mean, how can you follow instructions from a coach who's using double negatives and dangling modifiers? I mean, the man doesn't know his semicolons from his ellipses.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, complete abuse of grammatical form.
Well, you've got to remember, I mean, Stephen Milne, he struggles to understand English at the best of times, and there were plenty more like that as well. So
this is
we
why
stood
he went
no
to Collingwood.
chance.
This is why he went to Collingwood.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
The main reason.
Mick is the kind of coach that dots his T's and crosses his I's. Today, I'm going to teach you how to kick the footy with the Nathan Buckley technique. Before we kick the footy, make sure you've had a nice solid breakfast. A bit of toast with a spread of fig jam. Now what you want to do is flare the biceps out like that to show everyone how much you work out. And just before you kick the ball, the last thought going through your head should be, Jesus, I've come all the way from Brisbane to try and win a flag for Collingwood. And follow through and keep your toe pointed all the way.
Rashes. everything you want for less.
And it's that time for...
Cheeky sedge for a cheeky sledge.
Luke, this is the cheeky sedge for a cheeky sledge. These are our friends Sedgley and Sons. They make a great wine. And this is where we ask our guests, what is the cheekiest sledge you've heard or given on a footy field?
Well, you'll like this one, Cole. I played against my older brother
Matt?
one day. Matt, who played for the Hawks, and he was a bit of a run-with player. And he was sent to me for the day. I must have been playing okay at the time. And if I'm being honest, he did a good job. He gave me an absolute bath. But I thought I'd have the last laugh. And I told him in no uncertain terms, in halfway through the last quarter, as he kept me to 10 possessions, that you might have won today, but at least I know that my father has slept with your mother. Hey?
That was you and your brother.
That was me. That was me. That was me, all right.
And Matt.
Yeah. Just thought of it, just like that.
On the day.
On the day.
Is that the same story as the Vossi brothers?
Huh?
Michael Brett Voss. Was that the same as the Vossi?
Hey,
Nah.
what are you
that was
talking?
me.
Gav, have some respect. You wouldn't know. Right? You've never, come on, say it.
What?
You've never... You've never...
I've never played a game of football in my life. Gav.
Right, it is that time for the read of a romance novel. It's Beryl D. Lovin's #1 bestseller, Every Heart Beats True, A Lion's Tale, based on her fantasies of Gary Lyon, the boy from Kyabram.
She couldn't make it in again today, Coach.
Luckily for us, Gav, we have our special guest, Luke Ball, here to read an excerpt for it. This is Beryl's book. It's a #1 bestseller, as you can see. Mate, do us the honours, will you?
He's a bit hairier in real life, isn't he?
Well, I think so.
Call me Ishmael. It had been only 2 weeks, but it may as well have been a lifetime of despair since that last fateful night he spent with Beryl. It had left Gary more confused than his first encounter with the Phoebe brothers. How could one woman inflict so much emotional pain on a man? Carolyn Wilson's arrow had hurt, but Beryl's tongue lashing cut deeper. Gary's only solace was the open seas, and for that he left the Leoncelli and boarded his faithful tug in search of his next catch, the great Moby Dick. Nothing would give him more pleasure than breaking out his tackle and pulling Moby Dick. Gary had spent many a long and lonely night at sea where he mastered baiting, and he knew full well that the only way to pull Moby Dick was by positioning himself on the tug like a true halfback flanker. You can never underestimate a good halfback flank when you're under pressure, Gary mused. Suddenly, Gary's tackle was jerked hard. The great Moby Dick had reared its massive head as it broke the surface. He thought of his old teammate Stephen Stretch as he wrestled with the beast. Finally, after a long struggle, Gary decided it was best to release the sperm. Whale. For Moby Dick had risen to new heights. The feeling of bliss lasted about as long as the countdown prior to a shot at goal, and then the stark reality returned. Beryl was not by his side, and he forgot to take the pork chops out of the freezer.
That was brilliant. Brilliant read there. It's Beryl D. Lovin's Every Heart Beats True, A Lion's Tale. Get it at all your great bookstores. I got mine from Dimmicks.
Right, we're going to go to a song, and here it is, In the Jungle, The Mighty Jungle.
And that's all we've got time for today on the New World of Sport 169.57. Mr. Luke Ball, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute honour, and we'd love to have you back again. Now, you're not going home empty-handed. We've got some great gifts for you. Normally, Dipper would be doing this, but he's not here again, so I'm going to have to do it myself. So bear with me. But we've got some amazing giveaways here. We're going to start with the... Oh, yes, look. We've got a voucher from our friends at Hotel Lona St Kilda, $300.
Oh, wow.
You can take the family. Amy and the kids, they're going to love that.
That's fantastic.
Or you could take that and cash it in and invest in Zanotti Ponzi.
Yeah, I'll consider that as well.
Yeah, don't take it. Oh, this also comes with this, Luke, of course, Sedgley and Sons.
Beautiful.
Take that home with our bottle.
Lovely Pinot.
Beautiful Pinot. And for being on the show, Luke, you've got some other gifts here. My own brew, premiership lager.
Oh, wow.
A 4-pack for 4 premierships.
Right.
Take that home. That's a premiership winning taste, that one. You've also got There it is. That's Signature Series.
That's the one I came for.
That's the one that came for.
That is the one I came for.
Put that over there, mate. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Magnificent.
This is a mug for a memento for being on the new world of sport. You can drink your coffees in the morning, or when you're doing business deals or financial things. You know,
Cup of tea with Mick.
Cup of tea with Mick.
Tea with Mick. Yeah.
And that's not it. We've got more. We've got more. Just when you thought we were done, our friends from Batocki Small Goods. Have a look at this, Paulie. You get a Batocki hat.
Wow.
Look at this. You got. Oh, they've given you a shirt as well.
Wow.
You got some Aussie bacon.
Favourite colour.
Look at this, mate. Some leg ham,
Ooh.
some Kranskis,
Ooh.
some vintage cheddar.
It's a use by date on that one.
Well, no, you're good with that. I checked it. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, look at the girth on that.
Kransky.
You don't see that often, do you?
Haven't eaten that in 23
And a
years.
pancetta.
Oh,
You're
delicious.
taking all this home. Do you like prosciutto? Do you like prosciutto?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
You're
Love
going to
the
love
cured
this.
meats. Yeah.
You can go home and you can make yourself a nice lunch or dinner, whatever, anytime you want. Thanks for coming on the show, Mr. Ball.
Very generous. Thanks for having me,
No,
guys.
it's been great. Let me
Love to
take
come
that
back.
for. Make sure that you can. We'll just put that in there for him.
That one?
Yeah, take that in.
This one too.
Right, come on, Gav. Let's go.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Paulie.
I'll just take that. Do it.
See you next week, please.
I'll go home.
Where is my charger? Amos! How many times have I told you I need the charger here or I can't roll the show? What do you got? What are you doing? What is this? For f***'s sake, I've had enough. Seriously, you coming? You got your charger, where's mine? Yeah, I'm sure that's all you're thinking too. And who are you? What was the last decent thing you directed? Hey?
I'm not going to put up.
Oh, don't come here, sitting down there palavering on your couch. And you, Gav, you should know better, mate. You should know better. I put in, week out, for the goodness of this show. If it wasn't for me, you'd all be dead. No one's. You'd be nobodies.
Yeah, Amos, don't give him back chat.
Oh, you can talk. I've put you at full forward. It means full forward, not fat